Hello everyone, my name is Zheng. I'm from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So it's my honor to introduce my paper, title 24 paper in this video, named Chatting the Future of AI in Project-Based Learning, a co-design exploration with students. So this is a research collaboration by HKUST, Yonsei University, and University of Waterloo. So we know students are increasingly adopt AI tools nowadays. They might use ChatGPT, they might use Midjourney or any kinds of AI tools. And there has been a great concern over students' use of AI in their learning. And the critical problem is how can we assess students' learning when they are actively using AI? We actually have some existing approach. For example, some educator consider forbid students' use of generative AI. And but this is not sustainable, right? And some consider using AI detectors, but it is not very reliable. There are also approaches such as increasing in-class tests and oral tests. But this might work for some simple situation, but for more complex one, the one I'm going to discuss today, it might fail. But the focus of this paper is about project-based learning. This is a more complicated learning scenario, and there are many three characteristics of PBL. The first one, students are going to address authentic problems through independent learning. That means they are more likely to work in authentic environment, like it is not in class, it's mainly off class. And students often use technology in PBL because it is authentic environment. And students will generate artifacts such as reports or models, a solution for their projects. And traditionally, artifacts are how students uh, learning being assessed. Teachers or students themselves and look at the artifacts to see how students have learned throughout the process. But the problem is when students actively using AI, their artifacts may be contributed by AI. And that means artifacts might not be, artifact itself might not be good enough to assess students. There are other ways for assess students um, in PBL, for example, assess their based on their learning process. Students might be asked to document their learning process, and the teacher is going to look into their documentation and to understand how students have learned from the process. But the problem is, what if students widely use AI tools? How they are going to document their use of AI, and how teachers might be able to uh, get insights from it. So in this paper, we are actually trying to answer or explore these questions. So how might students report their AI involvement in project-based learning? And how could such a report support understanding of students' learning in project-based learning? So we are starting from a student perspective because students are actually um, holding a drive for their project-based learning. It is more of in project learning, it is more about students themselves. So we are actually uh, doing to how students use AI, report AI, and get insights from AI. But important thing is AI nowadays are actually not democratized to every student. So and as a technology, AI is developed quite quickly, quite rapidly recent years. So study such kind of emerging technology, we are actually adopting uh, a notion of alternative present to study our future world. And well, it might be like 3 or 5 years later. We hope this study can inform more long-term um, design of project-based learning in the future. So we assume that students are accessed to more advanced and accessible AI tools than the current age. And there is no spatial restrictions to students' AI usage. So we conducted core design workshops to investigate the research questions. We have three activities. The first one is speculate AI-involved project journey. Second is imagine the ideal student. And third is design AI usage report. If you consider our purpose is to understanding students' project-based learning when they are allowed to use AI, the first activity is about the data of such kind of analysis. And the second one is about the goal of the analysis. And the third is about how we can analyze it. So our participants are from universities, our college students. Many of them are very good at using AI tools, or they frequently use AI tools. And we, in total, we have 7 workshop sections, and for each section, we have 2 to 3 students to join the workshop. So this is an overview of our workshop. In the first activity, students are asked to reflect one of their previous projects, and we will provide some AI capability cards drawn from previous work, and students are going to use these cards to reimagine their projects, to consider how they might use AI and in their previous projects. And the second activity is about imagine the ideal students. What does it mean? It means that we ask students in the future, what do you think a good student will be like? And that means the assessment transformation from the perspective of students. And the third activity is about asking students to draft AI usage report. They can use any tools, they can use any materials to analyze their AI usage. So that's our workshop design, and now I come to the finding of our study. We got a lot of interesting insights from the workshops, for example, about speculated AI usages in PBL, about students' envision future assessment transformation, about students' design and attitude of reporting of such kind of AI usages. But for time limitation, I'm going to introduce the last one into details. So students offer 7 types of report of their AI usage. The first one is task allocation between students and AI. So why they want to understand what task being handled by human and what tasks handled by AI. The reasons are kind of divergent. The first reason is learning gains differ across tasks. The second one is humans and AI are good at different tasks. These reasons are different because the second one is for efficiency, but the first one is for learning. So this actually comes to a research opportunity. We consider it is important to understand how should education practitioners balance the goals of effective use of AI and actively learning in future BBL. And the second type is quantifying and depicting AI's engagement. We also got diverging ideas of these methods. So a lot of students consider if we can have a pie chart to depicting the percentages of human contribution and AI contribution, that would be very good. But some students consider high percentages of student contribution to be good because it can verify students' contribution. Students are actually work for the projects instead of handling all the tasks to AI. But another group of students consider higher percentage of AI contributions to be better, and they consider that means students can effectively give tasks to AI, showing their ability in interacting with AI, which they consider will be important in the future. So actually that comes to the question, how can we support sense making of students' use of AI from diverse perspectives? So in the future. The first one is about effectiveness of student AI interaction. We found that students often want to understand the effectiveness of their inquiry to AI. They want to understand have AI evolved during their interactions, and what would be the outcome improvements due to students' AI usage? They consider all these analyses to be important to understand how good students are at interacting with AI. As I have said before, students consider these skills are very important in the future. And the fourth is the process of incorporating AI suggestions. Students consider they can use subjective reflection. They can also analyze the process of students filtering, editing, and re-questioning AI's suggestions. Basically, these analytics are about um, analyze how students are self-regulated during the learning process. And that comes to the research opportunity that how can we support self-regulated learning in AI-enhanced environments? And the next one is about quantifying students' development through human AI interaction. Many students are still consider it is important to see students growing during the project. So they hope to discover students' behavior changes in interacting with AI, which are whether students have developed their skills in using AI throughout the process. They also want to quantify students' learning based on how they have delivered tasks to AI. So this is quite connected with the task allocation between students and AI I mentioned before. So they consider like if students are handling a lot of tasks, they have higher learning gains. That means we can be more confident that students are learning a lot in the process. And last one is about AI's impact on collaboration and students' ethical awareness in using AI. For the first one, actually, our participants have some experience on this topic. One student said, I prefer asking AI for assistance first, then share the results with teammates for discussion. That means originally he might discuss with his teammates, but now AI is more of his teammates. And that actually is not a very good thing, may not be a very good thing because it is very important to train students in collaboration during projects and so this is an important thing to analyze in the of the process. And another students consider share her experience that some team members disagree with using AI to generate content due to quality and integrity concerns. So that comes to some conflicts because of AI, and that's also something people might look into. So lastly, I want to discuss what we have found from the study, from the interviews and the discussion. We found that some students consider AI as a tool, while some consider it as teammate, and some consider it as an expert. And different individuals or their belief roles of AI have have induced them to have different behavior, have different um, ways to analyze their learning process. And this is actually different from previous work about how designers design the role of AI. And because AI is becoming more general purpose, the users in this scenario is the students have more power in deciding the roles of AI, and that might change the interaction between them and AI. So we believe this was future investigation. Last is the takeaways of this research paper. So we have a core design workshop. We discuss various future AI usage scenarios, education goal transformations, and possible analytics of students' use of AI in PBL. And we have discussion of future research opportunities on student AI interaction, as well as tracking and sense making of students' use of AI based on our workshop findings. So that's all of this paper. Um, Thank you so much for watching and